Well, usually pretty early in the day, I get on Facebook and I check my memories. It seems to be more foolproof than my other way of remembering things. It's rather interesting to see what Facebook will put up for my memories. I can count on posts about the births of grandchildren. There are posts about my mothers, just in this last few days, and I said mothers. There was my birth mother, who died when I was age 7, and last night I took advantage of what had been posted on memories and posted her pictures. Probably this afternoon I will post pictures of the second mother that God gave me and give tribute to her as well. But you know, I have no Facebook memories of the births of Debbie's and my children. There's a pretty good reason for that. There was no Facebook. And I do at times have trouble recalling the special little moments of my own children as babies and youngsters. Now, I do have a couple of memories. Remember the days when we had landlines and we sometimes had an extension phone? That was a really neat thing if you actually had 2 phones in the house. And when we called our parents or they called us, we would both get on the phone. And so Debbie and I were on the phone, and Angie and Andrew were out of sight, out of mind. And when we got off the phone, we realized they had taken the little toy sink and decided it needed water in it. And they put water in it and put water on the floor. It made a mess. Another memory also relates to Debbie and myself being on the phone. And this was after Christy was born. And we're talking on the phone to one set of parents. And I said, "Where's Christy?" I was holding her. I was absent-minded way before I should have been, apparently. There are many other memories, and some I can remember. Sometimes I don't remember things about our children when they were little. If I want help in remembering our babies, I ask their mama. It seems that mothers just do a better job of storing those memories. Henry Ward Beecher said, "I think that the most wonderful book that could be written would be a book in which an angel should write all the thoughts that pass through a faithful mother's mind from the time she first heard the cry of her child." Mothers just have a way of remembering all those special things about their children. When Jesus was born, and he was born, he had a mother. When he was born, the event was noticed by heaven and earth. Matthew and Luke tell us what made this birth unusual and unique. Jesus had a mother, but he had no earthly father. He was indeed the Son of God. In Luke's description, we have a very simple but profound observation. Luke chapter 2, verse 19. This is after the shepherds come to see the baby Jesus. They tell Mary and Joseph how the angels had appeared to them. And after this visit, verse 19 says, "But Mary treasured up all these things, pondering them in her heart." At the end of Luke chapter 2, verse 51, 12 years have passed. Jesus goes with his parents to Passover in Jerusalem. When they leave, he stays behind, and they find him 3 days later in the temple. Mama rebukes her son. "Didn't you know we'd be concerned about you?" Jesus doesn't. He just says, "Didn't you know I'd be in my Father's house?" And again, the statement is, "And his mother treasured up all these things in her heart." Those memories of children are like treasures. She stored up all these things. She thought about them over the years. In the case of Mary, with her first baby, there was much to treasure and ponder. An angel told her she would have a son. Mary saw a problem. She was a virgin. But the angel said that her son would indeed be the Son of God. In fact, he said the baby would be the Savior of the world. As we said, the birth of Jesus was announced to shepherds by the angels. Max Lucado, in his book, God Came Near, explains to us why Mary had plenty to mull over. She had plenty to treasure and think about. He writes, "The omnipotent, in one instant, made himself breakable. He who had been spirit became pierceable. He who was larger than the universe became an embryo. And he who sustains the world with a word chose to be dependent upon the nourishment of a young girl. God is a fetus, holiness sleeping in a womb, the creator of life being created." Well, Mary knew from the very beginning that her little baby boy was unique. But she also observed that he was a 100% baby boy. You're familiar with the song that has the line, "No crying he makes." Well, there's no biblical basis for that line. God became flesh as a baby, and babies cry. And let there be no mistake, despite all the paintings you've seen, the baby Jesus had no halo. He was a 100% human baby. He was also 100% God, but he was a baby. Well, you know, a newborn baby is just overwhelming. I do remember when we got home from the hospital with Angie, and it came time to change the first diaper. Now, I had changed a few diapers with my little sister growing up, but as I look at that task for the first time, it just seemed a bit overwhelming. About that time, Holly Powell, a sister in the congregation, showed up, and she took over on that changing of the diaper. And with experience, I got much better. But a newborn baby can just kind of overwhelm you. Well, imagine holding the baby that will grow up and be the Savior of the world. As Mary reflects on all that has happened and to what she has just heard from the shepherds, she does have much to think about and treasure. Luke, in the opening words of his gospel, indicates that he had researched the story of Jesus. And some speculate that he obtained the information about the birth of Jesus from Mary herself. Who would remember the baby better than the mother? Mary had a great treasure in her memories of Jesus' birth. As he grew, he would frustrate and bewilder her. Luke gives that example when Jesus was 12. "Didn't you know I'd be in my Father's house? Why were you concerned about me?" And yes, Mary would stand near the cross as her son died for the sins of all. She was with the apostles and other believers in Jerusalem after Jesus' ascension. We salute mothers today. Hopefully we honor them every day. And Mary, the mother of Jesus, deserves honor, as all mothers do. And she was a unique mother in that she gave birth to the Son of God. Mark Lowry wrote the words to Mary, Did You Know? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child you've delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will calm a storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? And when you kiss your little baby, you have kissed the face of God. The blind will see, the deaf will hear, and the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak the praises of the Lamb. Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect Lamb? The sleeping child you're holding is the great I am. For many of us, our mothers have gone on to be with the Lord, though we remember them. We honor them in the way we live. Some, Mama's still living. If so, make that phone call, that visit. Take them out to McDonald's. But honor your mothers. And yes, we're to honor our fathers also. What a privilege it is for a woman to become a mother. A blessing, a great responsibility. And we see in the mother of Jesus such a good mother who treasured